Alrighty, we are back with another episode of Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. We got Susanna Gibb on again. What's going on, Susanna?
Good morning. I'm just trying to stay warm over here.
I know, right? Yeah, same here. But I'm assuming, I'm hoping, I'm wishing that this is over and we were finally going to get into springtime.
It's right
So
around the corner. March is right there, it's knocking on the door.
right around the corner. And speaking of springtime, March, beautiful weather, the travel and COVID, I'm assuming about to completely be over. Travel is going to pick back up again as well, which brings in the topic of, so we were talking before about the movie Taken, you know, where,
Hmm.
I think it's like two of them in the show where his daughter, I think his daughter and his wife, I forget, I get the second
I
one.
think there's like four now, but the daughter's taken, then the wife is taken.
Yeah, and so you think about like in that situation, if you're in some country, um, I guess even like maybe even here, and and somebody gets kidnapped, and they want ransom, uh, how do you pay for that? I mean,
Mhm.
where do you find the money to pay for that? So we're gonna talk about kidnap insurance today.
It's called K&R policies or kidnap and ransom policies. And they're one of those things, it's almost like Fight Club. You don't talk about K&R policies because if you talk about a K&R policy, it means you might actually be kidnappable. So there's a ton of people that have this, but they never mention it until, like, if I'm like, yeah, I sell kidnap and ransom, and they're like, I have one of these. Do you think you can beat my price or something? It's very bizarre. It's like this secret club somehow.
Hmm. That they meet on Tuesday evenings and Shared shared policy declaration pages.
Yes, yes. So, we see these a lot for celebrities. They have K&R policies because they're high profile figures. Kids, family members of other high profile members, maybe they're like CEOs of companies here. Their kids will have them. We also see them for companies when they send their employees overseas, or they're a nonprofit that sends their employees overseas, they will buy kidnap and ransom policies for on their employees, and their employees may never know. They may never know they even are
Hmm,
covered.
that is interesting. And so what? So break down like what So what does it cover? So if I'm assuming like you buy an amount in advance, I guess kidnap and ransom is relatively straightforward, right? I guess you get a phone call and they ask for a price, but how does that process go? Of
Yeah, so it's interesting because they pay the reimbursement of ransom funds. They don't actually pay ransom funds. They will
Mhm.
reimburse it. So you got to have the money able to pay. But they also, you think about other movies where the hostage negotiator rushes into the scene and they start talking to the kidnappers. They do pay for that. They pay for the loss of ransom and transit or other expenses, bodily harm, the negotiators. Another movie, which is that Proof of Life movie, which Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe were in, that was a really kind of all. The husband got kidnapped on a volunteer mission in South America or something, and so they sent in Russell Crowe, the hero who has an affair with Meg Ryan, and that was kind of a hot mess. But it does like he was a firm that dealt with K&R. So
Got it, got it. And so and that makes sense. I guess it would be wise to do reimbursement so that you could help avoid fake claims. If you actually have to, or even just force you to try to negotiate it down if you can. They're like they don't want to just you just pay whatever they ask. You know.
oh, there's another movie I was just thinking about too. Have you ever seen that movie Man on Fire with Denzel Washington in Mexico City?
I
That
think
one's
I have. It's
that
so
one's
good.
so good. But you talked about false claims, and that's what made me think of it. Is the guy needed money, and so he had his daughter kidnapped. It was a hot mess.
Yeah, yeah. And so are um those are there like any type of exclusions that like so does it cover you in any country anywhere? Uh
That's depending on the policy. There's the State Department has like their hot list of like, hey, seriously, don't go here countries. And so if you choose to go there, aside from what your policy says. There could be exclusions for that. Like, I can't even imagine that, oh my gosh, where's the Pirates? Where do the Pirates get people all the time? Like, if you choose to go there where the Pirates are, if you drive your boat there, I'm pretty sure that's going to be an issue with your K&R policy.
Got it. No, or if like you decide to go maybe run into Ukraine right now doing war.
Well, and you think about that, like the reporters that are there, you bet you money that those networks have K&R policies on them.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I was gonna ask one more question on it. It was about travel K&R, the Apple Buzz. Like, and there may not be an answer to this, but I'm just thinking a lot. I'm curious because now, have you seen those things with Apple where you can place those little things, like in your kid's backpack or in their shoe or in their pocket and keep them on them, or family members, and so that way, you can be tracked. I wonder how that's going to be incorporated into it, as far as maybe lowering premiums or incentivize.
Potentially, I mean, the thing with K&R policies is usually they have like a start and end date.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like this life insurance policy that you buy and it covers you for the next 20 years. So it's like, all right, hey, I'm going to, I don't know, Ecuador for a week. I want to buy travel insurance for that week. Or for a company, for example, when you write that policy, you say, we're going to hit these 9 countries this year. We're going to send these many people abroad. And so you buy that amount for that year. And then at the end of the year, they come back and say, okay, what are we going to do this year? COVID changed it a lot for a lot of the companies that travel. So we ended up pulling a lot of our travel policies for our companies because they were on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, this is interesting. So, yeah, I think I would have to say this is definitely the most. I can't think of the word. The most secretive. That's not the real word. Secretive.
It's not something that people just talk about. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, my K&R policy, like usually when I start talking about it, people will come up to me after and go, is that real? Is that a real thing? Because it seems like it's like stuff from the movies. Like, how does that happen? What does that happen? But
then when you think about it, you're like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, I could so see people who are famous or going somewhere or, wanting to own that policy because it makes complete sense. It's probably a super profitable business, but that's a whole other conversation. I bet Berkshire writes some too. Warren Buffett.
You bet what? I'm sorry?
I say I bet Berkshire Hathaway writes some of those policies too.
It's by companies that you've heard of. Travelers has a K&R policy. Like, there's quite a few companies out there that have it. Hartford has an international travel policy that includes K&R. So, and it's like there's single K&R policies, like this is all it is. But then there's also, piggybacking off of our travel discussion from last week. For companies who send employees that travel, a K&R policy is just a little portion of what the international policy consists of, which is like workers' comp, it's evacuation, medevac. If they get hurt, will it pull their family members back with them? Will it pay their health insurance while they're overseas? Because your health insurance mostly extends to you when you travel, but it's kind of like an emergency. So it means that you have to pay it and then get reimbursed if it's a true emergency. So it can get really sticky. So if you buy one of these like travel policies where a K&R is often tucked into, it just kind of makes it easy and kind of turnkey solution.
Got it. Makes sense. Well, thanks for sharing about that. Let everybody know where they can reach you if they have if they want more information or if they want to secretly talk to you about some K&R.
Secretly talk to us. Yes. You can secretly talk to us at our website, www.gibagencydallas.com, and that's GIBB agencydallas.com. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and the TikToks.
Awesome. We appreciate you. You enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy the beautiful weather that's coming this weekend and next week.
Yay. Thank you so much. Good to talk to you too. Have a good day.